Hey you guys, I'm back with another video. I know it's been a while. I hope you all, as far as the ladies, have had a wonderful Mother's Day. Of course, you know, every day is a day of celebration to the moms and to the dads who are basically doing what they're supposed to do and raising their children up to be God-fearing women and God-fearing men. So God bless you all and your families. I wanted to come to you all with something that I've been really paying attention to in the news. I thought it was very interesting because I had shared a video with you guys. I uploaded it on February the 13th. I advise you to please check this out so you can see the significance of why I'm sharing this with you all. But on February 13th, I updated a video called Dream Updates for February. And it says chemical weapon drones microchip. What I want you to focus on is the chemical weapon. And even the picture that I use is a man who is quarantined with a quarantine mask, and he has these tubes that represents some type of biohazard chemical. So again, please check this out so you guys can see what I'm saying. But I had this dream, and I'll briefly just say that in this dream, it depicted me on a bus with many people. And for whatever reason, in my hand, I had what looked to be like a test tube, but it had like it looked like a aqua color liquid in this tube. When I released the tube, the liquid that was in it started flying in the air, and all of a sudden people literally was grabbing their throats because they were having a hard time breathing, including myself. And I remember people were kind of looking at me like, what have you done? Why did you do that? And it was like people were literally trying to hurry up and let the windows down, and some were even breaking windows because they were gasping for air. And it was even depicting this with myself, like I was literally gasping for breath because I was having a hard time breathing. Why am I sharing this with you all? Well, if you've paid attention to the news, they've been talking about these two cases of people who have attracted this MERS, which stands for Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. This is supposed to be a virus that started in the Middle East, and it came from camels. Well, for whatever reason, it's being this virus that camels had is starting to manifest in humans. The first case was found in Indiana. Excuse me. This was a couple of weeks. Maybe not even a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, the first case was found in Indiana. Well, there's a second case where it's hit in Florida. Now, what is very interesting about the symptoms of this MERS is it starts out like a flu-like symptom, but one of the other symptoms is trouble breathing, having a hard time breathing. Why I also felt this was very significant to this dream that I had was there's a video that I'm going to upload and share on here, and it was made by Signsofthycoming. They uploaded this video, which is basically talking about excuse me, the MERS, and it just shares different news segments of them speaking on these cases. But towards the end of the video, they talk about how the guy from Florida had family in Saudi Arabia. He had recently traveled to Saudi Arabia, and he took a flight and also took a bus to get back home to Florida. And what was so significant is the fact that this guy, he's now, I think he's been in a holding room for 12 days now because of the fact that he may have the MERS, or I think they have already detected that he has it. But what was interesting is the fact that they said that this man traveled on a bus as well with this virus. So here it is. I had this dream almost 2 months ago where I'm seeing me on a bus with many people, and I have this chemical, whatever was in this test tube, and when it was released, many people were affected by what was in this tube. And one of the symptoms that was very clear in this dream was we all had a hard time breathing. We could not catch our breath. And again, they're saying that this MERS, one of the main symptoms is trouble breathing. So I really believe, you guys, that God revealed something to me ahead of time to show that this is basically a new pestilence that is being unleashed in the earth. I want to encourage you guys to not fear, because God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. But I think we do need to be aware of the fact that Jesus did tell us that in the last days that there will be pestilence. And pestilence, when you look that up, is referred to as disease epidemics. And there have been many epidemics going around, even with the polio is coming back, and that's something that we haven't seen in a very long time. So there's a lot of disease epidemics that are manifesting in the earth. So this is just another clear sign that, time is really winding down. We are literally in the last days. People really at this point should not be questioning that at all, because it's very clear. And I wanted to read something to you all. I'm trying to find it real quick. Bear with me. It's in Psalms 91. I'm trying to pull it up real fast. And I would even encourage you all to read Psalms 91 every day. Whether you want to read it when you first wake up in the morning or when you go to bed at night. But I would definitely make sure that, you read it. But I'm going to go ahead and read Psalms 91, and I'm going to start at verse 3. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. So I just wanted to share this with you all. And I read from Psalms 91 verses 3 through 8. And let this be your let this be the promise that you stand on, that came from the Word of God. Because regardless of what we see manifest in the earth, regardless of the disease and the pestilence that are manifesting, we can rest assured that God said that he will protect us from these things. So as long as you stay covered under the blood of Jesus and you stay hidden under the shadow of the Almighty, you have nothing to fear. You have nothing to worry about. So you guys check this video out and just see, this is clearly to me God really showing that in the dream that he gave me, this is God really showing a confirmation of what he showed in this particular dream. So if you have not checked that video out that I'm referring to, please check it out again so you can truly see what I'm saying as far as why I feel so strongly that this MERS situation that has started manifesting in this past week, see how relevant it is to the dream that God gave me. So again, that video that I'm referring to, I uploaded it on February the 13th, and it basically was speaking of dream updates for February, and I have chemical weapon drones microchips. So check that out, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And I will be back with another video soon. I wanted to share a dream that my youngest son had with you all. So God bless you all. I love you. Stay in faith and keep looking up.
On the broadcast tonight, extreme measures trying to stop the spread of the MERS virus as we learn of new possible cases in the U.S. and alert going up at airports across the country. Good evening. The MERS virus has arrived seemingly out of nowhere. We actually know it originated in the Middle East and that it's potentially fatal. And while public health officials have been downplaying the threat after 2 confirmed cases here in the U.S., just today, the federal government stepped up its efforts to keep it out of this country. Today, a health advisory went up at all major U.S. airports, alerting travelers to the Middle East and trying to prevent its spread. Healthcare workers in Orlando are being tested after they came in contact with a patient, and tonight, this virus is being taken very seriously. It's where we begin our reporting tonight with our chief medical editor, Dr. Nancy Snyderman.
The White House today responding to concerns about the deadly virus now showing up in the United States.
The president has been briefed on this development. The CDC is taking the current situation very seriously and is working in close coordination with local health authorities.
So far, 2 cases have been confirmed. A patient in Indiana was hospitalized for 12 days and released last week. The second, a Saudi resident who is visiting family, tonight remains hospitalized in Orlando, Florida, in good condition. And now 20 healthcare workers at 2 hospitals in Orlando are being tested for MERS. Health officials on the front lines of previous global outbreaks like bird flu, swine flu, and SARS are concerned. Dr. Michael Osterholm recently returned from the Arabian Peninsula, where he has been studying the MERS outbreak.
One of the problems we have with a MERS-like illness is that it also is very similar to a lot of early onset illnesses from other respiratory pathogens. So you very well might think of it as influenza or some other respiratory pathogen.
That's why the TSA has begun to alert travelers. These signs are being posted at major airports across the country about the disease's symptoms and how to prevent its spread. MERS started in the Middle East and jumped from bats to camels and now to humans. There have been cases confirmed in 17 countries, most in the Arabian Peninsula. And now, with Dubai being the world's busiest airport, containing this virus may no longer be possible. And because so much commerce now goes through the Middle East, this outbreak has worldwide medical implications, but it also has major economic repercussions, too. Brian?
We'll stay on it. Nancy Snyderman starting us off tonight. Nancy, thanks.
A creeping, contagious, and potentially deadly respiratory virus has reached the U.S. and created a legitimate health scare. 2 Orlando area healthcare workers exposed to a patient with MERS have been treated for flu-like symptoms. One of those workers is in isolation.
It all happened before the proper isolation precautions were initiated. So these people were in contact with the patient without a mask.
Officials say about 20 healthcare workers at 2 hospitals in the Orlando area might have been exposed to the MERS patient. What is MERS? It stands for Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. It started in the Saudi Peninsula but has now spread around the globe. Experts say it may originate with camels, but you can get it simply by breathing in. Most of those getting it have been relatives of patients or healthcare workers.
We can infect one person to another if they're in close proximity. If we have droplets of the fluid that we have in our body being inhaled by the other person or being in close contact with the other person.
It attacks the respiratory system. The main symptoms: coughing, fever, trouble breathing. Why is it so scary? It's deadlier and spreads through the body faster than the very similar SARS virus of a decade ago. About a third of the 530-plus MERS patients have died, experts say, compared to about 10% of SARS victims.
There's no vaccine for it, and there's no treatment for it.
Meaning patients survive only by getting the symptoms treated. There are 2 actual MERS patients now in the U.S., both of them healthcare workers. The most recent one, in Orlando, recently flew from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia to London, then from London to Boston, Boston to Atlanta, then Atlanta to Orlando. Are they going to have to track everyone on each one of those flights?
Not necessarily. As a matter of fact, what they would be doing is the people that were in close contact with that patient. So if you were sitting near that person, 1 or 2 seats, yes, you're going to be interviewed. But if you're sitting several rows and that patient did not walk close to you, there's no reason to even be concerned.
The other MERS patient in the U.S. also recently flew from Saudi Arabia to London, London to Chicago, then took a bus from Chicago to Indiana. Dr. Joxel Garcia says that bus ride could be a problem. That patient had extended exposure to others closer in, and it's not clear how good the ventilation system on the bus was. All of those passengers, he says, on that bus will have to be tracked somehow. Well, that's not going to be easy to find all of them.